Good morning, and welcome to Avatar Personalization in Second Life with Beth Ghostraven. Welcome, everybody, today. We're so glad to have you here. This is the first event of the SLMOOC for 2017. Beth Ghostraven is a middle school librarian on the East Coast of the U.S., teaching ages 11 to 14. This is her 19th year of facilitating information literacy and inspiring immersion in stories in whatever format they are available. Beth began using the virtual world of Second Life to network with other educators and librarians. Her work with a variety of special interest groups in education has evolved to the point that she is one of the great publicists in virtual worlds, making sure her colleagues know what's going on, when and where, not just in Second Life, but in the open sim worlds and in Minecraft. She's the owner of Ghostraven Professional Attire, classic clothing for educators in Second Life, and is the communications chair for the VWBPE conferences, a transcript editor for the Virtual Worlds Education Roundtable, facilitator for the VISTI Virtual Environments Personal Learning Network, and communications chair for the ISTE Virtual Environments Network. Welcome, Beth. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you all for coming. This is awesome. I've been working on this presentation right up until the last second, so I apologize in advance for any mistakes. I'm hoping that this will be an interactive kind of thing, a workshop more than just me standing here and talking. Let's see. Why personalize my avatar? First of all, I feel more immersed when I look like I want to look. I designed my avatar to look more like my real life self, only of course polished up some. I like to present a professional appearance when I'm presenting at things like this. And I had a really hard time when I first got into Second Life finding clothes that weren't really skanky looking. And when you look up professional in the Second Life marketplace, you don't come up with professional like educators. You come up with professional like hookers or something. So this whole quest is kind of for myself 4 years ago, but I'm hoping that other people can benefit from this too. We can personalize our avatars to represent cultural norms or not. You know, we can represent anything we want to, and we can explore different ways of appearing. This is geared toward classic human avatars, but that we're by no means limited to that, and people can look professional and behave professionally in a non-human avatar. I have a tiny hedgehog that I use sometimes, and I've seen a lot of other avatars that people use. In fact, my hedgehog has a business suit and briefcase that I got from one of my Second Life tiny friends. So these are the initial avatars that you can get in Second Life. And I have no idea how old you are. Would you type into chat your Second Life age? And I have to look mine up. your Second Life age. I'm saying not your first life. Yeah, I'm older than I thought. I would have said 5 or 6. I had to look it up. Okay. Looks good. This presentation is mostly geared for people who are new to Second Life, and that's who my market really is for the shop. But hopefully some of this will be new to you. That is awesome. I love seeing all these ages. Anyway, these are the current initial avatars that you can get in Second Life. And all of these avatars and all of the pieces of these avatars are available to everybody through the library. Type yes in chat if you have used the library in Second Life, and I mean the library that's part of your inventory. Okay, so you probably already know how to drag a folder onto yourself. Okay, I knew there is a wealth of stuff in there that's free. And Second Life, Linden Lab changes this up every now and then. They add different things to the library. Let's see. To get there, open up your inventory. You can do this right now. I'll type this in chat too. And click collapse. I'm using the Firestorm viewer. Hopefully it's similar in the Second Life viewer if you're using that. And then click on library. Then, let's see, clothing. And then you can see you've got some subfolders in there. Initial outfits, those are the current ones. Female shape and outfit, that's the original Girl Next Door outfit. Male shape and outfit, Boy Next Door avatar. More outfits, that's the Ruth avatar. If you want to see what the original avatar looked like in Second Life, that's it. When you hear somebody talk about being Ruth, that's what they're talking about, looking like that. And then if you click on older avatars, skim through the ones that say animal, there are a whole bunch of outfits in here. And you just, to get this stuff, you drag the folder onto yourself to wear everything, and then it will appear in your regular inventory and not just the library. So you don't have to do that now, but it's all available to you. Oh, I love the female pirate, except it's green. I'm not a fan of green. That's just me. Okay. When I talk about clothing, lately there's been a real trend toward mesh everything. And I love mesh for buildings. I love it for shoes because our feet pretty much all look the same. Hair, it's okay. But mesh clothing does not fit my avatar at all. I have a non-standard avatar shape that I made myself, and it doesn't fit me. So that's why I got started on this retro trend. We're talking old school here. But here's why. Mesh avatars are new and fashionable. Classic avatars are old-fashioned, or thought of as old-fashioned. Mesh avatars are not modifiable. Unless you are a mesh creator outside of Second Life, like using different programs for that, you can make your own mesh avatars, but I have no idea how to do that. To me, wearing a mesh avatar or mesh clothing is like wearing something molded in plastic. I can't change it. The classic avatars are modifiable by the user, so you can change your shape any way you want. Okay, that's what I've heard, Aeon. So I don't mean this to be a put down of mesh bodies. I'm just explaining my philosophy, I guess. Oh, let me give you a note card. I meant to make, of course, a thing, a giver thing to give you stuff, but I didn't. So I'm just going to be giving you some stuff here and there. Hold on. Okay. Here's my philosophy. And I do not mean for this to be a plug for my shop. I would love it if you want to go there, but that's not my intent for this. My intent for this presentation is to share information and ideas. So let me send you a post stand while I'm thinking about it. You probably have dozens of post stands already in your inventory, but if you don't, here's another one. Whoops, got to catch up on chat here. The reason I love my system clothing and some prim clothing is because it fits me perfectly. It fits my shape. And if you have a more standard shape, you know, everything will work for you. But I'm just particular about that. Let's see. Okay. Classic avatar shapes, that's your facial features and body shape. They can be customized with sliders. The skins are a texture applied to the shape as if painted on. And customization of skins is usually done outside of Second Life. You can make a skin yourself and customize it with sliders, but it looks really awful. Maybe somebody else is better at it than I am, but shapes are pretty easy to do. Let's see. Okay, here is an example of what I'm talking about. In the top left, that's my personal shape and my personal skin. The skin is not one I made. That's one I got as a freebie. On the right, that's the same skin with the Carla shape, and you can see how that it changes the way the avatar looks. And that icon under the Carla shape is what the shape icon looks like in your inventory. Then on the bottom left, that's my shape with the Carla skin. So you can kind of see what the skin looks like, and that's the skin icon there. And then on the bottom right, that's the Carla shape with the Carla skin. This is one of the inventory, one of the Linden Lab avatars. And I'm waiting for the slide to rest. Okay, classic clothing can be system or prim. The system clothing comes in layers, and it's a texture applied to the shape as if it's painted on. And that may be customized using sliders. The system clothing that I've been making has a texture that's made outside of Second Life in Photoshop, and then it's put into the system clothing, and that can't be edited, but you can customize things. Let's see, prim clothing and hair may be customized if modifiable, and I didn't finish the outline there, but that made me think of perms or permissions, mod, copy, and trans. Full perm is all three. Most items are either copy or transfer, and I prefer to buy things that are copy rather than transfer, because if I'm going to modify it, I want to make sure I can make a copy first. That's really crucial. That way, if I destroy it, I can just delete that and start over again. Okay, this is what the icons look like for the system clothing shape and skin. You can see their little pictures of the clothing. And you can make these yourself in your inventory. If you look down at the bottom, there's a plus sign. You can click New Clothes and then pick New whatever. Create it and then wear it, and then you can edit it and make it whatever you want. Same with all of this new stuff. Okay, this is inventory showing the icons for all worn objects. So you can see that the prim objects that I'm wearing are shown by little cubes. Okay, this slide is just an introduction to how to find things. I will put these slides up on the web so you can see them. I could just publish that, but I haven't done it yet. And I think you all know how to wear stuff. This is just simple. I want to reiterate, make a copy first, and if you're editing something like jewelry, use a pose stand. Okay, if I want to edit my shape, I'm going to open up the Appearance tab and then go to Edit Outfit, or let's see, I went to what I'm wearing here, I think. And there's a little wrench on the right side of where it says My Real Shape. If I click on that, now if you're going to edit your shape, make a copy. Because it's really hard to remember where all these sliders were, what all the settings were. You can see from the tabs across the top, there's body, head, eyes, ears, nose, and so on. And whoops, there are settings for each one of these. You can set them by number or with the slider. And it's fun to just play around with it. What I did when I made my shape was I sat down with a mirror, and it was like making a composite portrait. I looked at each little aspect and tried to change it so it was kind of like what I was seeing in the mirror. Maggie, that's a really good idea. Yes. It's great to be able to have a consistent avatar, and there's a company that's trying to work on that, I think. Let's see. Okay, here's the eye tab, for instance. You can see the extremes that it can go to. You can make some really bizarre looking avatars. And then this is the clothing tab. You can see I'm editing a system clothing, a jacket layer. And when you look at the three boxes on the top on the right, there's a box that says upper fabric, a box that's white that says lower fabric, and a box that's pink that says color tint. The upper fabric is a template that I used, and that can't be changed, but it can be tinted. In my shop, I've got freebies of the white versions of all of these pieces of clothing, and you can get them and change them yourself. I've had a lot of trouble with the shoes, so I'm not sure if that will work, but everything is modifiable. And so here I'm going to edit a prim piece of clothing. So I right click on it and click edit, and I need to do this while I'm wearing this for any of these things. And then you can see the build menu comes up, and I can edit this with the build menu. Even if something is not modifiable, usually if it's a prim piece, you can move it at least. And my avatar is shorter than most, so I almost always have to lower necklaces and things. But it depends on what it's attached to on your body. If it's a mesh piece, most of the time it can't be changed. And for a lot of mesh, it can't even be moved. Okay, what questions do you have or comments? Sabir, that's a really good question because that's what I would like to learn more about. How does avatar personalization affect student learning in virtual worlds? That's what I'm investigating. There's not a whole lot out there on it, but later I'll put out a bibliography of what I've found so far. Can anybody else answer that question? Any experience with how students react to your looks? In designing lessons and designing in-world teaching, it seems like you have to find that sweet spot between spending time on appearance and not being immersed. The question is how much time and energy do we need to spend on customizing avatars or letting our students customize avatars?
Did you just ask how much time do we spend at it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was saying that's the question.
Sure. With the 8th graders at Ramapo, in 2007 through 2009, the first week they were in World, each day they would make a different avatar. And these classes were only 40 minutes, to answer your question. So the first day they'd make their ideal self, their dream self. And of course, they might look like supermodels or Arnold Schwarzenegger or whatever, right? And then the second day, we asked them to do their superhero, their heroic figure, something like that. The next day, they made themselves. What do you look like in real life? And the fourth day, they did the opposite gender. And what was interesting about this is they would do this, and then they'd spend a few minutes talking about it in little groups, and then they'd write a little paragraph or two on a note card, and that was the end of the activity. Well, when they flipped genders, uh, the guys started making Dolly Parton-like figures, and the girls started making really bulked out, you know, like Bluto, right? So, and they both got offended, and so the conversation was very animated, right? And what was interesting is on the last day we said, why don't you make an avatar that has the elements that you feel most comfortable with? And what was interesting is they picked a mix, you know, of features. By the way, on the heroic day, a lot of the characters were Darth Vaders, which I thought was very interesting. That we had these dark heroes, right? But and dinosaurs and whatnot, right? I think the thing that struck me the most is when they made themselves. Some of the students made themselves look like that character from The Point, you know, the arrow, right? So they'd have a pointed head and they'd have blobby bodies, and you know, they looked a little like one of those things that kind of like a top, you know. And I thought, and multicolored and very interesting. And of course, this was their inner self, right? Their perception of self. And so we spent about a week on that. Sorry if I sound tired. I've been up all night. Over to
That's
you.
okay. This is awesome. That's great data. I'd like to hear something about more recent stuff too, but that's exactly the kind of thing I'm interested in. Oh, one thing that I meant to touch on is accidentally appearing naked while you're changing. That's something that probably almost everybody has experienced at least once. For me, I put some hair on that I was trying, and that's all I ended up wearing in this shop. That was early on. So be aware that there are some of the Linden Lab skins that have like a camisole and bottoms, or for guys they have boxer shorts. So if you're wearing one of those skins, you don't have to worry about appearing naked. What I do if I'm changing outfits in front of people, yeah, modesty skins. I always change my system layers first. Like I'll change my my shirt and pants first, and then I change the whole outfit, and that way I'm already wearing those parts. So that's just a a tip. I don't know. Or you can, what I've got around here, these different colored boxes are dressing rooms, and I'm going to give you each a copy of it because this came from Fleet Toque. These are also old school. Hold on. But they have a really cool mirror in them. Let's see. Here it is. And it's no mod, but you can actually modify it. I think it's the script in it that can't be modified. There you go. There is, I have a shop here on Vista Island, but I don't know if I have all my freebies in it. So you might want to try the one in Caledon. That's in a skybox, and that one's more up to date. I haven't had time to put everything out that I'd like to, but I think the freebies are at least out there on the wall. So what I would, hi Pilar, what I would suggest is playing. Go in your inventory, look at the stuff in the library. If you want to try on stuff out here, I'd love to see what people come up with, or if you change your shape. If you've been in Second Life for a while, you probably have your shape and skin the way you like it. But it's fun to just play around. And Mook, I love how creative you are with your avatar. It's so much fun to see what you look like every time I see you. So that's really all I have to say. There are pose stands around. There are dressing rooms around. Um, Take a look and have fun playing. I would love to have your feedback on what works for you and what doesn't. Maggie, I can do that. Let's see. The shop on Vista Island is actually right across the water there. If you fly over past the jet ski, it's right there.
Into the group for a moment.
Sure.
I'm a bit lagged, so it's a bit difficult for me to type. My name is Singh. I'm a Sikh in real life as well as Second Life, and I was just typing in to the chat how it was difficult to find Sikh apparel in Second Life. In fact, it was impossible. And so eventually I had to commission it because I had a lot of conflict in Second Life originally, feeling that I was not dressed correctly, because as a Sikh we keep, turban and beard and this shape and form as part of our religious observance. And I just wanted to share that I can identify with other speakers who want to make their avatar, kind of on par with their real life, shape and form. And others, of course, are different. I'm sitting next to a person who is in robotic form, and I'm sure he or she is enjoying that. And I can appreciate other people's individual choice. But personally...
That's a Minecraft avatar, I think, Singh.
Yes, that's right. Which I don't know anything about because I'm not really into games. But Second Life seems to have attracted me for some time. And the business of relating to people in an avatar form, I think, fades after a while when you establish real relationships. But nevertheless, the way one looks does, I think, speak to the sense of respect that one wants to garner from other people in relationships. So I just wanted to affirm what you said earlier, Beth. Thank you.
Have you thought about asking the person who designed your clothing to market it? Because if you like it, somebody else might too.
I'm not aware of. Somebody sent me a Josine. Thanks for the private IM about All Beat Hair Shop has turbans. Well, maybe they have. I'll go and check them. Thank you. Of course, now turbans come in all shapes and forms, and Sikh turbans are different from other styles, say Arabic turbans. But that's fine. I will go and check that out. Thanks for the clue. But yes, maybe they should market them. I know there are some other kind of Sikh insignia that are now being marketed in Second Life, so it's possible.
Would anybody else like to speak out? I think someone's mic is on. If you could turn that off. Thanks. there, I'm not conducting any formal research. I'm just kind of surveying the literature and trying to see what's out there. Right now, it's just a personal interest, but we'll see what happens in the future. I forgot to put my contact info on the slide. I'm trying to remember what my email address is. I think that's it. Thank you. It should be noted that I didn't create most of the stuff in the shop. The hair is from Allie and Allie. It's an affiliate vendors, and the dresses are from Moonstar. I've been I've been fortunate to work with some really good creators. Thank you. I am a curator. That's that's what I do. Thank you, Maggie. The community virtual library had a Come As You Were party about a year ago, and it was so much fun to see everybody's original avatars. I love that. Here, I'll put my original one on. If anybody else wants to, that's fine.
This is one I made. Yeah, I didn't take off my clothes and stuff, so. But yeah, it's a comical ATST that has stubby legs from Star Wars. And I made it like this so when I take it off, back before we had the ad feature, I would still have clothes on.
Could you change back? I didn't get a picture of you.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Let me find my head. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's one of those only in Second Life moments. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
where's my head?
Now, this was very early. This is like 2006, so don't make fun of me. But he was so cute. I would give this out to students and stuff, and I had the attachment point set so it never took their hair off or, never removed clothing back then. They would always be dressed when they started taking it off.
I see what you mean. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. Yep. Sure. Yeah. I'm using a script to hide my body instead of alpha prims. That was the old way we used to do it.
Do you have this one? I just love this one. I'm sure almost everybody have this one.
Oh yeah, the Clockwork Girl. I have that one. And the boy.
I don't. Where do you get it from?
Well, I have a whole village, in fact. It's all clockwork. I don't know. It's been a really long... We do a lot of steampunk stuff. And I think she has a wind-up thing on the back. Maybe this one doesn't. Mine does.
Yes, they have one. And they have also the case where she comes.
Yeah. My batteries would run down and no one would wind me up.
That's terrible.
I'll look, Beth, to see if I have a full perm one. Yes, I do, if anyone would like it. Now, I also have a town and a chicken bucket. Let me see if I have the guy.
Oh, I would like to have the town. And the chicken too.
I have the boy also.
I have the boy also too. I don't know where I got it, but I got it a long time ago.
Yep.
But
I think so. Let me see. Do you guys want to see it, or do you just want me to pass it? There's all kinds of stuff inside this bucket, just to warn you. I'll go ahead and pick it back up. I found something that says Clockwork Town, Avatar, and more, so it may have everything packaged inside. And I just shared it with everyone. So if you don't want it, just delete it.
Thank you so much. I love all this sharing. I want to thank you all for coming. This has been wonderful. Everything we do in Second Life and in virtual worlds is all about collaboration and creativity. So thank you very much. Maggie and Peonia, thank you so much for having me as part of the MOOC, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes up next. Please stay as long as you like. I need to head out myself.
Thanks so much to you, Beth. You rock.